Welcome to the very first DJ Force X podcast with me, your host, Barney, aka DJ Force X. On this week's show, we've got David from Calling All Astronauts. But before that, I'm going to give you a little introduction of who I am, where I've been, and where I hope to go. My name is Barney, aka DJ Force X. You may have heard my show, the DJ Force X Show, on TotalRock.com every Tuesday at 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific. It is an hour-long mix show of metal, rock, dance, dubstep, anything you can think of, all thrown in the mix for your enjoyment. I'm originally from the UK. I moved to Florida a couple of years ago for the sun, obviously. Like I said, I'm a DJ, musician. I used to be in a band called Zero Cypher. We toured. We released albums. You've probably never heard of us. But anyway, I was the DJ in that band as well. And now I am here, throwing my enormous hat into the humongous podcast ring for hopefully your enjoyment. I hope to bring you musicians, bands, and just generally interesting people to this podcast. That is my aim. That's all I want to do. In order to support this show, here comes the advert, by the way, I'd really like you to use my Amazon links on djforcex.com. If you use that, it doesn't cost you anything. You basically use that as the portal to go to Amazon and you buy something, and then what happens? They take a very tiny percentage of what you've bought, and with that money, they give to me. This, hopefully, will partly fund the time I put into this show, which is a lot of time, because a lot of editing, sorting out times, all that, blah, 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 first world problem. Please use that. Also, I've got other shop links on my site. I've even got a merch store for me if you want to buy something with my logo on it. That would be awesome. If you do buy something on there, send me a picture and I'll slap you up on the Twitter or Facebook and all the other social networks that everyone else is on. Anyway, this week we have David from Calling All Astronauts, a UK punk, goth, electro, alternative band from London. It's a very interesting conversation, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, here we go. Okay, welcome to the DJ Force X podcast. This week I've got David from Calling All Astronauts. Hello, David.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm a little rough today, actually. We went to the BMI Awards last night. My girlfriend's a music publisher and she was getting an award and copious amounts of free alcohol, and then we went clubbing afterwards. My last real clear recollection was dancing to Down with the Sickness in a dinner suit, actually, about 2:15 this morning, I think.
Oh, that sounds good. And on a school night as well. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't do that often. I'm very good when it comes to not partying.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, do you want to give us a breakdown of who Calling All Astronauts are? You know, give us a brief history and your role within that setup.
Yeah, we're a three-piece alternative rock, very loosely alternative rock, because we take influences from everything and anything that we like, be it dance, drum and bass, dubstep, punk, goth, everything from like past 30 years. I'm the vocalist stroke programmer stroke remixer stroke producer. I kind of do a lot, but we all have our roles and everybody's role is important, and we just do what each individual is good at, type of thing. Jay, our guitarist, used to be in the punk rock band Caffeine.
Okay.
he toured the UK quite a bit with people like The Offspring and AFI and Blink and Rancid and all sorts of people.
Okay.
And Paul is the bass player, and Paul was in the band, the UK goth band, the Marionettes. So he still occasionally does the odd show with them. Like they did Wave Tref and Gothic in Germany this year.
Okay.
And that's about it, really.
Okay.
That's us in a nutshell.
So how long have you been going as this lineup?
Just over 2 years, I think it is.
Okay.
We had 6 months previously with a drummer and the original bass player, but it was very different to what we actually ended up doing. We had a like normal setup of a band, and then the drummer then went to Cambodia on, I don't know, to do some whatever people do in Cambodia, and I couldn't like just put the band on hiatus or anything, so I decided I'd learn to program drums.
Okay.
And then when he came back, we didn't need a drummer anymore, and
he got replaced by a drum machine. Oh.
Yeah, it really was a case of that. But I'd always had in the back of my mind what I wanted to sound like.
Yeah.
But I'd never had the knowledge to do it, and so I basically sat there and watched YouTube tutorial after YouTube tutorial, and rang different producer friends of mine who, gave me tips and advice and things like that. And that's how we sound now was formed, really. Okay.
So does that incorporate into your live setup as well? Do you have like the like a laptop with the pre-programmed drums or anything? Or
what we do live is we actually use a Boss BR 900 because it's less likely to fall over than a computer.
That's true.
And so we put all the drums and keys are on that, and then obviously all the vocals and guitars and bass are live. So it's a mixture of machines and real instruments when we play live.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got any live shows coming up at all, or are you just currently waiting?
We have nothing right now, although there's quite a few offers in for things for us to do them. But we're working on the second album. Okay. Half the second album's done. There's a lot of rhythm tracks and stuff down, which we still are working on. We will be doing some shows probably early next year and festivals next summer. We haven't been absolutely sort of prolific in the gigging type world. We've just done the shows we've kind of wanted to play.
Okay.
We did main stage at Guildfest, which was fun. We had to share a dressing room with Echo and the Bunnymen, and Roger Daltrey was headlining and that.
Very nice.
We did Kendall Calling Festival last year. It's quite cool looking out and seeing Tim Burgess stood right at the front watching us playing, which was good. We opened for Pop Will Eat Itself at the Electric Ballroom.
Oh, that's cool.
That was good. What else have we done? I don't know.
Okay. It's all right.
Yeah, we played with Eating Sputnik. We played Alan McGee's club night as well. We headlined that. That was fun. It absolutely sold out. Notting Hill Arts Club. Just the biggest mosh pit they've ever seen there, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, should we talk about what you've got currently out, which is your Hands Up, Who Wants to Die EP? It's, is it 6 tracks?
It is 6 tracks.
Six tracks.
Yes.
And you remixed every track yourself. You've got different versions of obviously the same track. What was the sort of the thought process behind that? Obviously keeping it all in house, but you could have outsourced, say, the remixing, or to give a different perspective on the music, or was it just you wanted to experiment with the sound and see which one, I don't know, resonated more with people?
The thing was, because the subject matter of the Hands Up Who Wants to Die EP is how youth knife crime, youth gun crime affects people and destroys families and lives, etc. I wanted to make it in as many different genres as possible, in the hope that we could get the message to as many people as possible.
Okay, yeah.
You know, somebody who likes EBM, listen to the EBM version, maybe take it on board. Somebody who likes dubstep will listen to the dubstep version or the electro, you know, and then obviously there's the Hands Up Who Wants Metal, which... it's quite Rob Zombie-esque. That was the lead track on it, because that one sounded the most like us in a way, although they all do sound like us. I also like the fact I mainly always do our remixes, because it means we still sound like us. Okay,
so that's important to you. You don't like having another person's take on it.
We have done. We ran a remix competition on one of our tunes recently. I can't actually remember which one it was.
Was it the Red Flag track, or was it?
Was it Red Flag? I think it could have been Red Flag. And we ran a remix competition, and we got so many dreadful remixes. Honestly, every bedroom remixer and his mate had a go.
Yeah.
And they were all really pants. Okay. And I've waited 5 weeks or something to collect all these together. And there was like only 2 that I liked enough, and we chose one, obviously. But you know, the process was just so dragged out.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, she runs, you know, she works at a dance label, and they commission quite big names to do remixes. And you look at the time these people take to put them in, and that you're waiting for the parts. And I'm a man of action. I just want them done.
Yeah.
You know, we will have other people doing remixes for us at times in the future. I've just done a swap mix with a band called Kids on Bridges, who we met in Los Angeles earlier in the year, and they're going to remix one of our tracks for us at some stage. Okay. Things like that.
That's cool. How well has it been received, the Hands Up Who Wants to Die EP? Because it's been out for, is it 3-4 months now?
Has it been that long?
I can't remember. I'm just pulling at straws at the moment.
Well, I've had nobody say it's crap, put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody seems to love it. I'm amazed by how much love we seem to get from people all the time, because we are just about the music. We're not one of these bands who considers ourselves a brand, and it's all about the exit strategy and maximising profit. It's just about releasing music to us.
Yeah.
And the fact anybody likes what we do amazes me. You know, I think if you're putting records out and expecting people to like it, it's a really sort of conceited attitude to have.
Yes,
and
I agree.
we don't have it. We've got the next single's about to be mastered now, so that'll probably be out in something like 8 weeks.
Okay.
It's sort of, I don't like using the word stopgap single, but it is in a way, because as we're doing the new album, we just wanted to put something else out, and I was just messing around at home, copying Robin S.'s Show Me Love.
Okay, yeah.
And so we've done a Calling All Astronauts version of Show Me Love.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, you have the whole sort of type glockenspiel top line thing going on, but we've obviously added guitars and real bass lines to it. And I've done a really quite dark vocal. Well, I couldn't get up to the notes she does anyway. So.
Oh, that sounds cool. So when do you expect that one to come out? Have you got a time date yet? Or?
Let's see, where are we now? We're mid-October now. Could be our Christmas single.
Hey.
Yeah. We're always joking about doing a Christmas single, so, called something like Jesus is a fallacy, die sad to die, or something like that. You know? But you really can't, can you?
No, unfortunately, they won't allow that, will they? So
no, people will be up in arms, and you don't mind causing controversy for some things, but
yeah, it depends if you want the headache over that particular time of year. So
yeah, exactly. Whereas 2 years ago, we had the Christmas #1 in the Hype Machine charts.
Okay.
At 5 minutes to midnight, we knocked Adele off the #1 slot.
Nice. Cool.
Which was quite awesome, really.
Okay. Should we talk about? Can you talk about the album? I know you're midst writing it, but is there anything to? Yeah.
Well, Hands Up Who Wants to Die. Well, Hands Up Who Wants Metal is going to be on the album.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it's going to be better than the first album, and I know everybody loved the first album, and we were very flattered when it appeared on several websites like Album of the Year and you know things like that. Yeah. But I've learned a lot more in since recording that album, and my production techniques have improved, and the new album's going to be a lot more complex and probably even more eclectic. This one's even got a ballad on.
Okay.
It's a slow industrial type ballad with very dark goth vocals and sort of staccato drum beat that sort of just. There's virtually the same beat the whole way. Very sort of hypnotic, quite like Nine Inch Nails-esque, if you would.
Okay.
There's another track called. I'm not really good on the titles of the new album yet. But there's one that really sounds like it's straight out of New Order's sort of technique type era. It's marvellous. It's going to be a really strong single. I'm very excited about it. And the fact it goes into a garage break just after the middle eight is just... I've just put this real heavy garage break, sort of bass line on after the break, and it just comes in. I can see massive remixes on it as well.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's subject matter. It's all very very similar to the first album. It's all socio-political, just what's wrong with society and how people should open their eyes and see what's happening around them.
Yeah,
and how we're all really tired of being crapped on by governments and you know it. Because that's what we're about.
Yeah.
We are political animals.
Yeah.
And we're not politicians. So our only sort of soapbox, if you would, is through our music.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially now you're seeing the rise of the right wing in the UK.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the news. Obviously, being here in Florida, it's a different world anyway.
Yeah,
it like watching like my friends back home and seeing some of the things that are going on in the news. I mean, I still keep an eye on like the BBC website or various other UK sort of news outlets. and seeing the rise of this right wing, this like UKIP, whatever parties coming through, and it's kind of disturbing that that's happening.
It reminds you of when you read about these stories about pre World War II Germany in the beer halls and all that, saying the things people wanted to hear without giving the real undertones of what it's all about, and picking on foreigners. That's it. Everybody's life is crap. Let's pick on the foreigner.
Yeah.
It's. I think they're very dangerous, and when you look at the number of people that they've expelled from their party, it shows the type of people they attract.
Yeah.
And every time one of these lunatics comes out and says, "Oh, it's because of homosexuals that we've had floods."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get plenty of that here in America. It's a very religious place in some quarters, and they blame things like that. Those sort of like natural disasters, and you get some pastor in the middle America somewhere going, these storms are happening because they've allowed gay marriage in such and such state, and you're like, what?
People have just got to learn to not judge people on the race, creed, colour, religion, what country they were, nationality, whatever. Judge people on whether they're assholes or not.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I was going to actually. What brings me on to one thing I did actually have written down is what. It's a big question, this one.
Right.
And from what we've just been talking about, it kind of fits this bit. But what message do you think is relevant to today's people? Like, I know it's probably different from country to country, but your message that you're spreading, or trying to get out there.
I think I've actually just said it.
Yeah, I think just see if there was any reaffirming of that, or
it really society has been taken over by greed and. Everybody's so self-serving now, and it's all about what people can do for you, and try to do things for other people. That makes society better. If even the small things, you're walking down the street in the morning, somebody's coming the other way, say good morning to people, smile at people, be nice to people. And I'm not religious at all, but the thought to treat other people how you would like them to treat you could improve society no end.
Yeah.
It's not something that can be changed overnight. This all stems from when we had Thatcher and Reagan, and they sort of encouraged the greed, yuppie-motivated society, and it's continued and grown. And it's going to take a long time for it to revert back. But it will do. It can't continue in this vein of nobody giving a damn about anybody else.
It'll come to a point where that just doesn't wash anymore. And
I hope so.
It'll either end up with some kind of uprising. And it'll end up one of two ways. So it's kind of I hope it ends up in the more peaceful manner.
Yeah.
The other way, which ends up in lots of people getting hurt and things like that. But you're right. I mean, it doesn't take much to smile at someone. It doesn't take much to wave, say hello. Here this was the culture shock. A small one I had when I moved here is that I'm walking through say the apartment block we lived in to start with when we moved over here, and people are like, oh hello, and hello, never met them before in my life, but they're like the neighbours, or they live down the other end of the complex, and it's the same. We've now got a house and stuff, but I'm walking say the dog down the street, and people from just down the road, oh hello, how you doing? Everyone's interested, smiling, and they're, instead of like ignoring people as you walk past them, you know, even if they've got headphones on, they'll take them out and say hello.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's just like little things like that you know, I didn't get in the UK.
When you see the media about the coverage of the US, you think it's the most violent place on earth to visit and how scary it's going to be. And I've been to Washington DC, I've been to Boston, I've been to LA several times, I've been to Vegas, I've been to Austin, Texas. And I've never once had an incident, well, apart from some police in Austin, Texas, but that was my own fault. But I've never had any incidents in the US where I felt awkward, dangerous, unsafe, anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is so friendly generally.
Yeah.
You know, even like walking down the street in DC, and there's two homeless guys sat at the side of the street begging. One of them goes, "Hey, buddy, you got any change or something like that?" And I went, "I'm sorry, mate, I've just come out for a walk." And they're like, "Wow, you're British." And they were like instantly my buddies, and one of them even went in his pocket and pulled out a button, I think they call it in the US, a pin badge.
Oh, yeah.
Of Captain Brit, and gave this badge. These guys with nothing gave me a badge to remember them by.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it's a very different, like, moving over here obviously is a big thing anyway, but just the difference. I mean, I remember walking, you know, just down the street in the UK, and, you know, people just don't interact with you. They're looking straight ahead or they're looking down. Or
in my case, they're staring at you thinking, look at his hair.
Oh, I wish I had
hair. I'm very used to it. I do think we have a lack of subcultures now, which is a shame, because back in the day, you could walk down the street and see people, and you knew if they were into the same music scene as you were.
Yeah.
And you can't anymore. Nobody's brave enough to express themselves anymore.
Yeah.
It's become really boring, hasn't it? You know, where are the punks and the goths and the emos and the indie kids and the skinheads and the rockers? And
yeah, you're right. It's either you don't get it out on the street. You'll get it in like the clubs and the gigs, you know, where they're sort of closed off from the rest of the world. But you don't get it out on the street as much.
Yeah, I walked from the London Aquarium on the South Bank to our house in Fulham, and I didn't see another haircut. The whole, 4-mile walk.
Oh.
And if you think back to the 15 years or whatever, you'd have seen Krusty stood around. You'd have seen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would have seen sort of everybody. We didn't see anybody else with haircuts. Which I think is sad. I know it sounds shallow to be concerned about whether people have haircuts and not, but it's not. It's more than just the haircut.
Yeah, no, it's that. It's lacking the I guess it's the bravery of the expression you want to make, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like I'll see it. I mean, I go to like Comic-Cons and stuff, so you see people express themselves in cosplay. You know, they'll create a costume they can wear to be their favourite character from whatever genre they're wanting to be from, and you go to liken that as well with the like the nightclubs. I was a nightclub DJ in the UK, like metal nightclub, and you'd have guys, with the mohawk. You'd have girls with the sort of like big, sort of like hair, the colours and everything like that. But then you see them outside the club, like in every day, and that's all gone. It's all extensions. It's all like combed down, or and like out when they're out on the street, there's no, there might be a frustration there, but there also might be a thing of everybody's looking at me. Yeah, and
I think it's due, as we mentioned earlier, the sort of conservatism of society now. People are very reticent to express themselves anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
It is. It's. I mean, I like you say, you walk down the street and you know, oh, that person, you know who's into, something common to you because you recognise the way they're dressing, the way they're expressing themselves. But whereas now, you can walk down and you think, I don't know, if you speak to people and you're like, I wonder if they're into the same music I am, or I wonder, and there's no telltale signs.
And when you look at all the deep house DJs, they've all got sleeves.
Yeah.
And look like people who were into hardcore 10 years ago, which is really kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's something actually I've spoke to I do speak to quite a few people who are on the house and they were all into metal. They actually were. Yeah, it's
an odd one, isn't it? It's like a lot of those people. I mean, I find a lot of remixers. With my radio show, I find like a lot of these like house remixes, but they're done of Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, all those sort of like classic bands, like metal bands, and they're done by producers who go out, they'll DJ house, deep house, tech house, whatever, and but they were metalers as they when they were younger. They were all into that scene, but now they're making what was back then essentially the other tribe.
Yeah, it is. It's like somebody going from rugby to cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's those two things you think. I'm all for because I was always into dance music as a kid, but I was also into rock and metal, so I was kind of always back and forth. But like just seeing that now is where, because I saw the different tribes, because you had the metalers, then you had like, I guess it's, these days it's the townies or whatever, or the that kind of like, and you got the rockers and the hippies and stuff back then. But it's just those two tribes, and then it's how they move over. It's like, oh, actually, it's not so bad. Whereas back then they're saying, oh, it all sounds the same. It's just like it's just that like conflict, and
perhaps everybody's sort of acquired the more eclectic taste that we have nowadays, and don't stick to one musical genre anymore. Yeah. I never have done. I love old school hip hop. I love 60s soul and stuff. But I've always, really been into punk and alternative. But I've always liked a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Old reggae as well, and ska. I like that a lot. I've got a lot of stuff on vinyl. Old Studio One stuff and all that.
Oh, nice.
I do, but I'm a music obsessive. I've just collected thousands and thousands and thousands of records.
Yeah.
I have actually been moving some of my vinyl recently, just because it's sat under my stairs. I never pull it out, and I think it's time for other people to appreciate it.
Yeah.
I sold a test pressing of a Front 242 album to the singer of Front 242 because he didn't have one.
Nice.
which was quite cool, But I had lots of white label stuff and promo stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Some stuff I've moved, and I've thought afterwards, should I really have moved that? But somebody else had the factory records, a factory sample, with all the stickers and all that, and it was just sat in a box. Somebody else is going to have it on the bedroom wall or something.
Yeah,
Manic Street Preachers one-sided singles and things like that. It is time to let other people enjoy them, because I spent a long time and ripped loads of it to MP3s and that with one of those digital turntables. So I've got all the tracks. I don't pull the vinyl out anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fair enough. I mean, I've got back in England. My vinyl collection's still there, unfortunately. But I know what you mean. It's that kind of like, now it's time to, just kind of move on some of the collection for other people to, enjoy as much as you did. And as long as you feel it's going to the right place, it's not going to... I know it's difficult to sort of like differentiate, but going to a collector who's just going to put it in a sleeve and not play it.
Yeah,
you know, most of the records that, I mean, I sold some of mine, most of mine are played. So, you know, hopefully they'll go to people that will actually appreciate them, or it will complete a collection. Because I was a bit of a completist when it came to certain artists and things. So I had extras and things.
I had every Clash record, including like the sort of, you know, Capital Radio on Neat Records and The Interview and every single and 12. And I was the same with the Buzzcocks. I had everything up to a certain date, obviously. You know, I the later on things that the Buzzcocks did, I haven't bought. Probably I should have done. But, yeah, I had all the Sisters of Mercy releases, including the sort of pre-Merciful release stuff, or, you know, the really early stuff.
Yeah.
And I did sell those, which was a bit of a weird thing to do. I don't know why I did that one, actually.
Yeah, sometimes you get rid of stuff and it's just, you suddenly realise, why did I do that? I really like those, you know.
I do that with clothes, though. I once a year in December, I'll go through my wardrobe, and anything I haven't worn this year, in the current year, goes.
Okay.
And I just get rid of things. Because I'm not really materialistic, you know, so I don't really want to keep hold of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, as long as I've got my studio and a TV and a cooker, I'm kind of happy, you know.
You got the distraction from the world, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. I was trying to think, because we're coming up to the end of everything I kind of have that I kind of had written down anyway. But no, I was just going to go, where can people find your music?
All the normal outlets of, like, from iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp. They can lots and lots of videos that we make our own videos all the time. They usually should we use the word borrowed footage from news clips and all that?
Yeah, borrowed fine.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff on YouTube. We're on Reverb Nation, we're on SoundCloud, you name it, we're on it pretty much.
So just type in "calling all astronauts" into a search engine and it'll land on something.
Everything will come up.
Yeah.
We currently are doing playlists on Spotify.
Okay.
We've started on a weekly basis. We're putting out another playlist of tunes we like, and there might be one of our tunes in the playlist. It's actually, Spotify's a good place to listen to us as well. They have pretty much all our stuff up on there. Cool.
So it's callingallastronauts.com. Is that your main hub of?
Yeah, there's callingallastronauts.com, facebook.com/callingallastronauts.
Yep.
Twitter, which we are obviously quite active on, as you know.
Yes.
That's at CAA_official. You'll know it's us by the little blue check mark. I had to say that. I'm sorry. ReverbNation.com/calling-all-astronauts, Bandcamp.com /calling-all-astronauts, I presume. And it's probably the same. I'm not sure it actually is on YouTube. I think on YouTube it's youtube.com/Planet Planet E111, I believe it is.
Okay. Well, if people type in "calling all astronauts" into Google, Bing, or whatever they use, they'll find you.
Without a shred of a doubt.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
For today. And, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you recover well from your previous night.
Yes, thanks. So, I've taken it very easy today. I had some mixing to do, but I've left it for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's probably best. Your head's probably not in the right place.
Yeah, it's been too much. And thank you very much. I've really enjoyed it.
Cool, thank you.
Cheers, man.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. So that was it. That was the first DJ Force X podcast. Please let me know what you think on the Twitter at DJ Force X or on Facebook.com/DJ Force X. Very easy to find. Or just go to DJForceX.com and all the links are there. Anyway, thank you. So until next time, this is Barney, aka DJ Force X, out.